Hi guys, welcome back to another fun conversation with your favorite tech girl, aka me. And before we start, quick introductions. Hi guys, my name is Aarushi, and in this channel we talk about all things tech, product and general career adulting. And in this video, I'm going to be covering something very important to I think everyone who's pursuing a career in the corporate. How do I build my career? Yes, career growth is kind of tricky, can become a little bit scary for someone who doesn't know how to navigate the tricky waters of the corporate, and it's very easy for someone who's entering it young, who's new, and maybe even if you've spent a couple of years, but if you've spent it as an IC and not in the leadership zone, it's very easy for someone to feel a little bit overwhelmed with it. At times you have thoughts like, will there be politics? Will there be people who will be undermining my position? I don't know how to put myself out there. I'm not an extrovert. How do I basically traverse these waters? What is it that I should do? How should I project myself so that I am someone who's successful? I have had some experience doing that, and in this video I'm going to give you my tidbits of how you can be successful in the corporate. So without further ado, let's get that started. So I have broken this down into 3 steps. The step number 1 is identifying what is it that it takes to become successful. Now, see, every organization values different skills. Of course, there are few skills that are valued everywhere. For example, again, this is a little bit industry driven. For example, if you're a marketing organization, a marketing driven organization, people who are creative, who present beautifully are really appreciated a lot. But let's say if you're an engineering organization, maybe like Amazon, they don't have presentations only over there. They only have docs. So it depends from organization to organization. Certain skills are more industry and organization specific. Certain other skills like being analytical, being logical, being reasonable, rational, all of those are being customer oriented. All of these are skills that are needed everywhere, right? So there'll be certain set of skills that are needed everywhere, which is basic things like being a good human being, being passionate about the problem that you're solving, trying to get to the bottom of things, being a hard worker, all those things that I guess everyone knows, right? That's one set, but there's a lot of variety about the industry and the company that you're at. How do I understand what is it that's valued here? What should I build up? Now, obviously, there's one way of asking your manager. The way corporate works is always a hierarchy, and that's a good thing, so that you can ask someone who's a little bit superior to you that what is it that I need to do. But having worked in startups, I think they're not always the most structured places to work at, and at times they don't even have a good articulation of what is it that works, so what is it that's appreciated here. In that case, I would recommend the other route, which is identifying people who are really celebrated in your organization. Now, there are 2 things also over here. One is that people in your own profile, let's say I'm a product manager, then other product managers in my company that are celebrated could be one place to look at. The other, I would say, also go a little bit broad. Look at other engineers that are appreciated, look at other business people that are appreciated, and so on. Why I'm asking you to go broad? Because again, once you go broad, you'll also see a little bit of a diversity in the skills, and you'll see more commonality coming up. So for example, the place where I work for Noon, I think they put a lot of focus on someone being humble and being available to collaborate. That's a very important skill that's appreciated here in the organization. So that's seen across, not just in product but other places as well. So again, you see in your organization what kind of people are appreciated, and you will start understanding that the organization really values a specific skill. And apart from that, especially focus on the people in your own domain, because there'll be other specific domain related skills that will be appreciated a lot. Right? So again, identify those skills by either asking your manager. If that doesn't work, look out for people that are appreciated and start identifying from them what is it that works. Of course, once you've identified the people, you can actually directly walk up to them and ask them, what do you think makes you work? People love to talk about them. That's a side tip. So you can definitely try to do that as well. So given now that you've understood what are the skills that really work in the organization, comes step 2, trying to hone some of those skills. Now, knowing yourself is the step 1 towards improving yourself. You have to really sit and think about it, where you really shine on one of those skills. Now, how do you do that? Let's say I have listed 3 skills that I feel are really appreciated in my organization. 1 being humble, 2 being very data analytical, 3 being great at designs or being a little bit creative. Now, let's say these are the 3 skills that I think are valued. Now, I want to understand which skill should I build. The first thing that I should do is I should understand myself, that which of these 3 skills I am, how good am I in each of these skills, my proficiency level in each of them. Maybe I'm already good at one of them, that's why maybe I'm hired. Or maybe I have a good knack for one of the three at least, that's probably why you're hired. See, when you're being hired as well, people look out for a match, right? So try to identify that skill where you have a significantly good level of proficiency. Let's say I checked myself and I felt I'm decently analytical, so that's my strength. And then I thought about the other two and I felt that I can be very collaborative, I'm good like that, but I need to work on my creativity. So that's what I identified about myself. You can have your own identification, and I'm just doing this for example, illustrative purposes. So go out there and figure out what's your weakness and strength. Now this process is harder than it looks. You will really have to sit and think about yourself. So remember, when you were writing your CV for the job, there you try to put across points showing certain strength of yours through resume points, right? Do something similar again, but this time be a little bit more honest than you're in your CV, and try to think where you have showcased each of these skills. I'm sure while you're writing those points, you'll start realizing that you have more points towards one skill than for the other, and that will help you understand. So once you have nailed down or shortlisted which is that one skill which you're great at, and then like put the others in an order of great to bad or great to not that great, you have got your list. Now I have identified that these are the three skills that do well. I have identified my proficiency. The third thing is picking out which of these I would improve upon. So the one that I'm already good at, maybe I don't need to do much on that, but the second one where I'm decent but not that great, maybe that's the one I need to hone. Or the third one where I'm really terrible but I know it's very valued, that I should maybe try to improve upon that. Now the step to improve it comes through two things. One, you should know what to do to improve it, and two, what we measure is what we improve. So you should start measuring that as well. Now how do we do that? Again, go back to your manager. You can have your manager. If that doesn't work, make a mentor at the workspace. I can't stress enough on how important it is to make a mentor, and I'd recommend, even if your manager is great, why not have a mentor as well? Why not have a few other people who are mentoring you towards your career journey as well? Now how do I make those people? Remember the first set of people, the people that we identified are really great in the organization. Go up to them and ask them to be your mentors. Of course, if they don't know you well enough, nobody has the time to spend it on someone they don't know. But build that relationship over time, and you will be surprised if someone sees a spark. Just going and asking someone to be your mentor, that's all it takes a lot of times. Because see, if people are doing well in an organization, they're also invested in that organization. They want it to grow. And how will that organization grow? They'll only grow when bottom up there are a lot of people who are interested in building the same skills that the organization values. So someone who's doing well in an organization would love to mentor others to also build the same values. So don't worry, I'm sure they'll say yes if you ask for it. So one of those people that you figured out as who are doing well in that particular organization and are doing well in the specific skill that you have picked for yourself, go out to them and ask them, what is it that you do? What is it that you should think someone like me should do to build that skill up? They'll give you certain hacks, they'll give you certain things that you could do. Start from there. I remember I asked someone in my organization when I was struggling, and she gave me such wonderful advice that I was able to figure out the next steps for myself, and I have after that diligently kept her as a mentor for myself. So you do that, and that's how you build relationships. Now you figured out how to do it by your mentor or your manager. Now it's about the measuring of it. This one's very important. So you should be able to have a sense if you're improving on that skill or not. Now let's say, like I picked for myself creativity, that's the one, being innovative. So I need to see how frequently I come across cases where I could have been innovative but I wasn't, or I could have been more creative but I wasn't. And maybe that's every time I'm designing a new solution, or every time I'm presenting and I'm creating a new slideshow, whatever I take as step one. Let's say my mentors told me that every time you present, your slides, your deck should look immaculate. That's what you should be doing. That's step number one. Maybe that's what I decide, and I know every week or every month I have a stakeholder call in which everyone comes. That's the place where I will make sure my presentation is the best. That's all I will do. For the next 2 to 3 occurrences of that meeting, I'll make sure my presentation is good. I've learned that skill. That's how I've skilled up. I'll take feedback after each session from my mentor if they're there, or if by someone else, and try to see if I'm getting better at things. If presentation is what I've chosen, maybe I can also look at how people are reacting to my presentation, right? So you look at those cues and you try to measure if week on week you're getting better, if you're getting there. You can show your work to your mentor as well and ask them for their feedback. So eventually you'll get the knack of it, you'll get the basic playbook of being like that person, and you'll get there. So again, I'll repeat, the process for really doing well in the corporate is number one, identifying what values or what skills are appreciated in that organization. Number two, identifying people or identifying ways so that you can figure out which value is the next for you to build. And number three, building it and measuring it so that you're improving on that skill day on day. Now, this is the basic playbook. There are a few other things that you should do on the side. This is like my bonus tip that I'm giving to you. See, a lot of time people come to me and tell me that, hey, I have the skills, but I'm still not appreciated for the work that I'm doing. Why is that? I say this, and I think I genuinely believe in this concept. See, everything you do in life, and there's no concept of politics here, but everything you do in life or every space that you're in, especially the corporate space, is also it's a people space. There are a lot of people who are working there, right? And eventually your value is someone else's perception of you. You may be doing great work, you might be thinking of great ideas, but when you think of a big corporation where, you know, there are hundreds of people or tens of people, your ideas are not heard. What you say is heard. So it's important that you go out and put yourself out there. Yes, you don't need to beat your trumpet. You don't need to be overly out there, but you need to you need to stand for yourself. If you don't stand for yourself, who else will? So that basic confidence, that basic showcasing of your skills, it's important, and you have to go out there and speak to people and try to put across your work to them, build those relationships up. Just one thing I like to say to everyone is that, you know, your relationships at home or in your personal space, you've had like maybe 18, 20, 30 years of building them. Those are the workspace they start when you're 22 or 25. So you've had relatively less time on knowing how to build those relationships, how to nurture them. So take that time and understand for yourself that, you know, you'll not be great at them on the first go. I mean, I'm sure your friendships that you had when you were, or the relationships that you had when you were 18 or 17 were really terrible. You did not know how to handle yourself. But the ones that you had in your 30s, there you knew, you were mature. So similarly, the relationships that you'll build in your early years as in the corporate, you might not know, you might be a little bit awkward, but slowly you'll start building that muscle memory or that power to manage your relationships well, to be your own person in that ecosystem. And that's really what it is. I also strongly feel, especially in startup ecosystems, there's lesser politics. There's no real place for it, because eventually it's a fast moving space, and fast moving spaces have no space for it. So don't worry if you're wondering, how do I present myself? Oh, what would people think of me? Oh, how do I look to people? It's fine. It's a space. If you are good, if you can show your value, you're good, right? So with that, I close my video. In this video, I wanted to make sure that all of you guys out there who are worried about handling the corporate ecosystem, don't worry. I'm there for you, and we'll traverse this with each other. If you have any questions, any thoughts, please put them in the comment section below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends who are in the same boat as you. And with this, I take your adieu. I'll see you in the next one. Ta-da!